Okay, so today we're going to share some stories. These are drawn from material provided to us, and maybe not our usual deep dive into complex research, but more. Well, recounting some really unnerving experiences.
Exactly. Experiences shared by people, just trying to live their lives.
Yeah, these are accounts that often started normally, maybe even mundanely, but then took a really unsettling turn. Stories that might, well, leave you looking over your shoulder a bit.
Definitely. They have that kind of feel to them.
So let's start with the first one. This account, it's from a woman who was dealing with a breakup.
Right. And she was missing playing pool, apparently. It was something she enjoyed.
Yeah, and despite feeling shy about going out alone, she decided to head to this familiar dive bar.
A place she knew. You can see why, sort of seeking comfort, but the source also mentions, the memories there stung a bit too.
She almost left, actually.
Yes.
But she pushed herself, got a couple of drinks, and went over near the pool table. Wasn't really expecting to play, but this guy, maybe mid-20s, came up.
Asked her for a game, and, based on her account, the beginning was pretty standard stuff.
They played pool, chatted a bit. She mentioned he wasn't, super sharp or anything, but she was just enjoying playing.
And she won every game, apparently. Kept winning.
But here's where it shifts, that sharp turn we talked about. After the fourth game, he asks her back to his place.
And her refusal, which she said was pretty light, not aggressive or anything.
He just flipped a switch. The source is really clear. His smile just vanished, instantly replaced by this scowl.
And it got bad fast.
Yeah, really fast. He grabs her wrist, starts going on about the money he spent on drinks for her.
Oh, wow.
And this is what really got her. He snatched her purse. She said she just froze. Total fear, even though she was in a public place, surrounded by people.
That feeling of being unsafe, even when you're not alone, it's powerful. The account mentions some older guys at the bar saw what was happening.
Thankfully, yeah. They stepped in, told him to let her go.
How did he react to that?
He glared, muttered something under his breath, threw the purse back at her, and just stormed out.
Okay. So scary, but over for the moment.
For the moment. She was shaken, obviously, called an Uber right away, and just left, still trying to process how quickly it all happened.
But as the source material details, the unsettling part wasn't actually over.
Not even close. This is where technology plays a role. She gets out of the Uber across the street from her house, and she happens to check her phone.
And she sees it.
That notification. AirTag found moving with you. Just imagine seeing that.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Because you instantly know someone planted it.
Exactly. The source describes her panic, standing right there on the street, frantically digging through her purse.
And she finds it, the actual AirTag.
Yep, finds the physical tag, and the fear just hits her. This guy, the one from the bar, presumably, he now knows where she lives, or at least the general area.
What does she do?
She stomped on it. Right there. Just crushed it on the pavement.
Trying to break the connection, destroy it.
Yeah, desperate action. But even then, she knew he probably had the last location pinged. So she sprinted to her back door, fumbling with the keys, just needing to get inside, lock the door.
Safe inside, but now with this awful knowledge that she was targeted, tracked.
And then it gets worse. Later that night, she looks out the window and she sees this car, an old, beat-up Lincoln, driving really slowly down her street.
Oh, no.
It passes once, comes back, passes a third time. Just scanning the houses.
And she knew.
She knew it was him. Actively looking for her house, the tread must have been overwhelming.
I can't even imagine.
Then it passes again. This time the window's down. And she sees. Well, the source says it looked like he had a knife. Just hanging out the window.
No.
Seriously. And then the car stops.
Yeah.
Right across the street from her house. Just stops.
Oh my God, what did she do?
She hid. Dropped below the window line. Terrified. Just waiting.
Did it leave?
Eventually. Yeah. It drove off. But she stayed there, heart pounding, terrified it would come back. She told her parents the next morning, and they called the police.
What could the police do?
Well, the source notes their response was kind of limited. Without a license plate, more evidence, there wasn't much immediate action they could take. Just, call if you see the car again.
That's frustrating, but understandable, I guess. Still leaves her feeling incredibly vulnerable.
Totally. The account ends with her basically not leaving the house for days. Just consumed by this fear that he knew where she lived, that he might still be out there waiting. It really shows how fast things can escalate, right? A simple rejection turning into this digital stalking and potential threat.
It's a chilling example of modern dangers, really.
Okay, let's shift gears to the second account. This one involves a man named Kevin. He's 40, single, works as a bartender.
But a very different kind of bar, right? The source mentions it's a high-end rooftop place.
Yeah, and he actually prefers that. He notes he likes that there aren't too many close regulars, lets him keep some distance, good tips, but values his privacy.
Makes sense. So what happened?
It's a busy Friday night, packed bar. But amidst the crowd, Kevin spots this guy who just sticks out, like dramatically.
How so?
Source paints a picture, looks totally out of place, radiating this intense anger, clenching his teeth, scowling, messy black hair, stained hoodie under an old leather jacket, just furious looking.
That's quite a description. Sounds intimidating.
Right. And he walks straight to the bar, but doesn't sit down, just stands there, staring intensely at Kevin.
Staring. Weird.
Kevin keeps his cool, professional bartender mode. Asks if he can help him.
And gets him.
The guy just glares for another moment, then kind of mutters, asks for a double shot of Jaeger.
Jaeger at a high-end rooftop bar. The source notes that's unusual, right?
Yeah, definitely not the typical order there.
Yeah.
Kevin gets the drink, comes back, the guy pays, but just throws his crumpled cash on the counter. Another thing the source flags is odd for that place.
Okay, so everything about him is just off.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then, as Kevin's turning away, the guy speaks.
And this is the really unnerving part.
Yes, he uses Kevin's name. Says, "I knew I'd find you here, Kevin."
Whoa! Kevin didn't know him.
Not at all. The source emphasizes his shock. He immediately asks, how do you know my name?
What did the guy say?
Didn't answer. Just kept that intense, angry stare and said, "I know what you did."
Cryptic. Menacing.
Extremely. Before Kevin could even react or ask more, the guy just turned around and walked out.
Leaving Kevin completely baffled.
Completely. He's racking his brain, trying to place the guy, figure out what you did could possibly mean. Nothing. No idea.
That would really mess with your head.
For sure. The source says it put him in a really sour mood, unsettled him for the rest of his shift, even on the drive home. He's still trying to figure it out.
And that unease, it didn't just stop when he got home, did it?
No. This is where it gets genuinely terrifying. Middle of the night, he wakes up. Just that feeling, something's wrong. Something's off in the house.
Like a sixth sense?
Exactly. His eyes adjust to the dark, and he sees. He sees it. A dark shape. A mass. Standing motionless in the corner of his bedroom.
Oh my God, someone was in his room while he was sleeping.
Yes. The source really conveys that absolute terror. Someone invaded his home, his bedroom, his most private space while he was vulnerable.
What did he do? Did he freeze?
He said he forced himself to stay still for just a second, heart pounding like crazy, then just decided he had to act. He leaped out of bed, just screaming.
Adrenaline dump, fight or flight.
Totally flight for the intruder.
Yeah.
The figure bolted straight for the door. As it moved, Kevin heard something clatter onto the floor.
Did he chase him?
Yeah, he chased him through the house, got to the front door, found it wide open. The figure was gone.
Smart not to follow outside, probably.
Yeah, the source mentions he decided against chasing him out in the dark. Secured the door, went back to his room, shaken.
And the clatter. What was that noise?
He remembered the sound, turned on the light, and looked. And there it was. A knife.
A knife. Did the intruder bring it?
That's the chilling part. It was one of Kevin's own kitchen knives, lying right there in the corner where the figure had been standing.
Okay, that changes everything. That wasn't just a break-in. That sounds like intent.
Right. He called the police immediately. They came, searched the house, the yard, found nothing. Kevin gave them the description of the guy from the bar. They got the security footage.
But they couldn't find the guy.
Nope. Source says they haven't located him. But the real kicker, the thing that Kevin still can't figure out.
How did he get in?
Exactly. Kevin is adamant he locked all his doors that night. The police found zero signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no jimmied locks, nothing.
So, it's impossible.
That's the question the source leaves hanging. How did this guy, who made that bizarre threat, get into a securely locked house without a trace?
And he hasn't seen him since.
Hasn't seen him since. But the whole thing, the identity, the warning, the impossible entry, it's just deeply, deeply unsettling. No resolution at all. Okay, let's move to the third story. This one, it presents a different kind of strangeness. More ambiguity, maybe?
Yeah, this one feels different. It comes from a bartender, again, but at a busy bar/restaurant near Baltimore. And the setup's a bit unusual.
Right, the source explains there are no waiters. You order everything food, non-alcoholic drinks, right at the bar and pick it up there.
And the narrator mentions she actually enjoys that pace, especially busy weekend nights, lots of energy, younger crowd.
So on one of these typical busy nights, things are hopping, and she notices this elderly couple come in. They sit down in a corner booth.
Initially, maybe just a bit unusual for that kind of place, right? But not necessarily alarming.
And not at first, but then maybe half an hour goes by. She happens to notice them again,
Yeah.
and this time, something's definitely off.
What was it?
They were just sitting there, completely motionless, hadn't ordered a thing, weren't talking to each other, just staring intently at the wall.
Staring at the wall in a loud bar. That is weird.
Yeah. The source says she felt increasingly uneasy, tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were waiting for someone, but it felt wrong. So during a lull, she decides to go over.
To offer service, maybe break the strangeness.
Exactly. Puts on her polite smile, goes over, asks if she can get them anything.
And their reaction.
Still motionless. Still staring at the wall. She clears her throat, asks again. The woman doesn't even flinch.
Wow. Okay. And the man.
The man. He slowly turns his head, just his head, and looks at her. The source describes him pale, very wrinkled, sunken eyes.
Creepy.
Super creepy. He doesn't say a word, just stares at her. Then gives this single, silent shake of his head. No.
No, that's it.
That's it. The silence, the stare, the look of him, the source says it just deeply unsettled her. She felt this sense of wrongness. She just mumbled, "Okay," and backed away quickly. Returned to the bar feeling really uneasy.
I would too. That's incredibly odd behavior.
Right. She tried to ignore it, get back to work, but later as things slowed down a bit, she couldn't help but glance over again.
Were they still there?
Oh, they were there. But they weren't staring at the wall anymore.
Where were they staring?
At her. Both of them. Just directly at her. She made eye contact with the woman, and the woman's gaze just locked onto hers. Didn't look away.
Oh, that's intense. That kind of direct, silent staring is unnerving.
Extremely. The source says she felt super uncomfortable, almost panicked, looked away quickly, pretended to be busy polishing glasses, just trying not to freak out.
And when she looked back,
She took a deep breath, looked back, and the booth was empty. They were just gone.
gone, like vanished.
Just gone. Poof.
Yeah.
The source says her first reaction was actually relief. Just glad they weren't there anymore, staring.
Okay, that's weird enough, but it doesn't end there, does it?
Yeah. Later, closing up, she's talking to her coworker, Karen. Karen's worked there forever. Prides herself on noticing everything.
So the narrator tells Karen about the weird couple.
And Karen's just confused. Says, "What elderly couple?" Insists she didn't see anyone like that all night.
Seriously, in a corner booth, how could she miss them?
Exactly. Karen even kind of jokes. Like, "Were you hallucinating?" And the narrator laughs it off. But the source says inside, she was deeply unnerved. Because she knew she saw them.
Karen doubling down probably didn't help.
Not at all. Karen started listing other customers she did see, almost to prove her point, which just made the narrator doubt herself even more. Was she going crazy?
That self-doubt can be corrosive.
Totally. So she leaves after closing, still questioning herself, feeling really weird about the whole thing. She's walking through the parking lot to her car. And she looks across the street. Underneath a single lonely streetlight, she sees two dark figures standing there.
Don't tell me.
Yep. The source says the recognition was instant and terrifying. It was the couple from the bar, just standing there, watching her.
Oh, come on. That's chilling. What did she do?
Panic. Pure panic. Rushed to her car, fumbled with the locks, got in, locked it, and just sped out of there. Didn't look back.
I wouldn't either.
The drive home, the source says, was just awful. Full of questions. How could Karen not see them? Were there ghosts? Was she losing her mind? What just happened?
And no explanation ever came.
None. Never saw them again. No answers. Just this bizarre, unsettling event that, according to the source, left her questioning her own grasp on reality. So these three accounts from the sources you shared, they really offer these fascinating and frankly scary glimpses into how ordinary life can just suddenly veer off track.
Absolutely. You see the fear of being pursued, made worse by technology like the AirTag.
Yeah, and then the violation of your safe space, your home, after this really cryptic, unsettling warning.
And finally, that third one, the sheer ambiguity of something that just doesn't make sense, something that makes you question what you actually saw.
They really highlight different kinds of vulnerability, don't they? How a simple no can spark aggression. How someone knowing your name when they shouldn't feels like a deep violation.
And how things that defy explanation can just stick with you psychologically, shaking your sense of what's real.
Well, thank you for sharing these accounts with us. This look into the details you provided has definitely given us, and hopefully you, listening, a lot to think about.
It really has. Makes you wonder about what else is going on just beneath the surface of the everyday, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And with that thought, we'll wrap up this exploration based on the material you provided.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Goodbye for now. And hey, if you found these accounts compelling, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Horror Docs. We appreciate the support.